I have a crazy theory for Sonic Movie 4 and leading into Sonic Movie 5. Hello everyone, I'm OCDsaster, and this is OCDsaster Blue, my Sonic exclusive channel where everything we do here is Sonic related. So if that sounds like something your speed, consider subscribing and checking out some other videos after this one. Now, I don't really have any evidence for this speculative, theory I have for Sonic Movie 4 and Sonic Movie 5, but I think I have enough kind of intuitive, deductive reasoning to kind of piece together what they're going to be doing for the future of this franchise. But before I get into my thoughts and speculation, I wanted to take a minute and just talk about how far we've come as fans of the series and for the Sonic movies specifically, because the 3 movies have totaled in over $1 billion. They seem to be getting better and better in the box office as far as money goes, which is very important to keep the sustainability of movies and franchises going. I think if they were going down in profits, Paramount would have axed this franchise, but we are moving forward and they're talking about next plans and roadmaps. But on top of that, I personally think that the movies are getting better and better. I think the first one is kind of your standard fish out of water, own original story, and then from there they've kind of incorporated a lot of adaptation to the Sonic games and really leaned in for the Sonic fans. But a lot of people forget, it started off really, really bad when they released Ugly Sonic as the marketing for the movie when it first came out. It would be a completely different story if they just said that we were stuck with Ugly Sonic, but instead they went back, they took another year to redo the visuals for Sonic, redo the designs, and now we have a full franchise on our hands, and I just think that's something we need to look back and appreciate a little bit. Last month they did an official title reveal for Sonic Movie 4. There was a lot of rumors and speculation that it might be called Sonic CD because there have been a lot of, talks about the movie being an adaptation of Sonic CD, because that's where Amy Rose first initially debuted along with Metal Sonic, which seems like that's the direction they're going in based off of the post-credit scene of Sonic Movie 3. However, like I said in a previous video, they were not going to do that. They weren't going to change the titles to this late in the game. They want to keep a consistent marketing push, so I was predicting it would be just Sonic the Hedgehog 4, and so a year away from when the movie releases, which will be March 2027, they officially revealed the title with a few other little teasers here and there. The reveal showed Chaos Emeralds with reflections of all the Sonic characters that we'll be seeing in Sonic Movie 4, including your usual Sonic, Tails, Amy, Knuckles. We also got to see actually Shadow in there, so that's kind of the announcement that Shadow would be returning for this movie. A lot of people thought that he was going to be reserved for like a Paramount Plus spin-off show or his own spin-off movie, so he will be back to some capacity for Sonic Movie 4. But the biggest reveal was, as they're showing off these Chaos Emeralds and what characters are returning for Sonic Movie 4, you hear a very sinister version of Jim Carrey's Dr. Eggman speaking, which I think kind of leads, it doesn't confirm, but it kind of leads into this alternate reality, evil, futuristic Dr. Eggman of some sort. But the bigger thing is that Jim Carrey is returning. I've said multiple times, Jim Carrey is the casual movie audience draw. Not only is he fantastic, but he's what gets people in seats that aren't Sonic fans. Sonic fans will come to see these movies no matter who is, the villain, who are the human actors in it. But for that main draw, the main audience, the casuals that don't really care about Sonic, they're just there for Sonic movies. Sorry, they're just there for movies, not Sonic movies. They just want to watch and have a good time. Jim Carrey is what's been pulling it in, and I had some concern that if he wasn't in Sonic Movie 4, then the box office might decrease, which is important because corporations and movie studios are greedy. They want more profit, more money, and if they see that their franchise or IP is not increasing in profit, they're going to eventually axe the projects because it's all about profit over the creative. So that's just something that's very important. I don't agree with it, but that's just how businesses work, and when it comes down to it, everything is a business. But that was the biggest thing. That was the biggest pull, was that, Dr. Eggman, or I should say Jim Carrey, is returning for Sonic Movie 3. We don't know if he's just going to be Dr. Robotnik, or Dr. Eggman, I should say, that he got teleported when he saved humanity, or if it's going to be this alternate future from concept art that we saw for the original Sonic Movie 3 idea, where there would be Metal Sonic in a dystopian future with an evil Emperor Dr. Eggman. It seems like that's the direction they're going in, but we're not sure for certain yet. But that is the biggest, piece of evidence we have for the direction that this movie's going in. And guys, I really do think we're going to be getting a very loose adaptation of Sonic CD. I think we're going to have a lot of Amy Rose in there, of course, coming from the future to warn Sonic and friends, and they're going to have to find a way to get to the future and to stop Metal and the Emperor Dr. Eggman. We've seen Jim Carrey play like this more goofy Eggman, and then with Dr. Gerald in Sonic Movie 3, he was still more evil than that version of Eggman, but as Dr. Gerald, he was still kind of silly at the beginning because he wanted to, trick his grandson into following along with his plan. So I really think that they could lean way more into the dark, gritty, evil side of Eggman for this Emperor Eggman version. It's probably still going to have Jim Carrey do his thing, and there's going to be little funny moments, but I think there's going to be a darker tone to this next one that I think will really be refreshing for fans, casuals, and critics alike. Needless to say, our heroes will have to work together to stop Emperor Eggman and save their present, but they have to go into the future in order to do so. I think time travel and alternate realities or, alternate futures are definitely going to be an element for this movie, and I think it's going to heavily impact the future of the Sonic movie franchise. I definitely think they're going to do something where they have to save the present by going to the future. They change the future, and it messes up the timeline completely, and that's going to introduce us to Sonic Movie 5, which they've already kind of teased they want to be kind of like an Avengers-level Sonic movie event, where I do think we're going to see Silver and Blaze come in from an even further future, and they're going to say, listen, you guys completely messed up the timeline, and now everything is worse than it was when, Emperor Eggman was ruling the world. I have no evidence for this. I just am kind of guessing and predicting. I don't think they're going to introduce too many new characters aside from Amy and Metal Sonic and then Emperor Eggman in Sonic Movie 4. I think it'll get too cluttered, and also a lot of fans will be upset if Silver pops in, because it's going to be one of two things. Either Silver will outshine Amy's involvement and introduction into the franchise, or Silver won't get as much, hype and love that he hasn't been getting since his, conception in Sonic 06. So it's a lose-lose. And then also they're going to be doing marketing for like the Year of Amy, like they did with Year of Shadow, leading up to not only Shadow Generations, but Sonic Movie 3. It was a good marketing strategy. And so having Silver included would also kind of minimize that as well, whereas they could save Silver for the next installment and have it all based around him. So that's what I think they're going to do. I think Silver's still going to be added in, but I think Silver is going to come in Sonic Movie 5 as kind of like the even further future character that's going to be like, listen, you guys went 50 years into the future in this alternate reality, what have you, and you stopped the evil Emperor Eggman, which is great, but by doing that is you caused a rift in the timeline, and now 100 years in the future or so, my life, my world is even worse because of something, right? Whether it's like a dimensional rift, whether it's, Black Doom comes into the picture. I think that's the biggest challenge for my theory, is who would be the big bad in Sonic Movie 5. That would be interesting to see what they think and come up with. There's a lot of people that they could select from, but I do think, Black Doom would be a really cool pivot from like a Dr. Eggman kind of villain. And then by now you have enough Sonic characters that you can split up into different teams, and it can almost be an homage to Sonic Heroes, as each team has their own like mission they have to do in order to stop the big bad. I don't know if they're going to add everyone in there, because if you're looking, we're still missing Big the Cat, we're missing Cream the Rabbit, we're missing Rouge, we're missing Omega, and I think that's a lot of characters to throw in for a movie. So I don't know, maybe they could be introduced in like a spin-off series on Paramount Plus before Sonic Movie 5 comes out. I really don't know the strategy for that. It might not be a full, Team Sonic, Team Rose, Team whatever. It might be a little bit more nuanced than that. but everyone will have their moments to shine. They can be broken up like Avengers Infinity War style, and then all culminate together to fight the big bad at the end, which would eventually lead to Super Sonic, Super Shadow, and Super Silver. Or maybe it could even be at the end of Sonic Movie 4, the heroes lose to Emperor Eggman, and now the present is affected, and the future. And that's why Silver has to step in at the end. It maybe even does an homage for the next, iteration, the next installment. Not completely like the Sonic comics, the Archie comics, but in a similar vein, or like the Sonic Saturday morning cartoon, where it's like everything's been like roboticized, Eggman's ruling the world, animals are getting imprisoned, and then you have more of like a I can't remember what they were called, like the Resistance sort of story arc as well. They could go in that direction, and that still leads into having separate teams, everyone having any separate missions, so that works too. And then your big bad can stay Emperor Eggman for 2 installments instead of just 1. You can have Jim Carrey back. So these are all the things that I'm thinking about. I know it's still kind of loose end, and we'll get more information as we get closer to Sonic Movie 5, and then we can start putting the pieces together and actually figuring out what the direction of this franchise is going to be. Regardless, I'm very excited to see what they do. I liked Sonic Movie 3 a lot. It's a really good adaptation of Sonic Adventure 2. Sure, it still leans heavily towards kids, but as a Sonic fan, I couldn't help but be smiling and grinning from ear to ear. But with that being said, I'd love to hear what you guys think down below. What do you think of my speculative theory on Sonic Movie 4 and Sonic Movie 5 in extension? What are your thoughts? What do you think they're going to do? What's the direction you want them to take? I would love to hear all your thoughts and opinions down below. With that being said, I'm OCDsaster, and I hope you have a super Sonic rest of your day. See ya.